Hi guys, welcome back. Continuing on with the Mirus build. This is, I don't know if you'll be able to see how well there. At the minute I've got the 25 size fuselage just gluing up, second side going on. But I thought now while that's gluing up, I'll make a start on the wings. I've previously fitted the leading edge and sub-trailing edges onto both the 40 size wings and both the 25 size wings. The next stage really now is to sand the trailing edge flush with the aerofoil and round off the leading edge. Once I've got that done, I can then see about working out where the aileron's going to go, the trailing edge is going to go, and more importantly where the servo box is going to go. So yeah, I'll get on with that just now. Okay, so excuse me. The wings, I've had the leading edges, sub-trailing edges sanded, flush with the trailing edge with the aerofoil and then rounded off to follow the aerofoil. Not like a razor sharp edge at the front, but it's not blunt, put it that way. I might well take a bit more sanding to it once the wings are together. So you might have noticed, if you've got a kit already and you're watching this, there's a hole here. This is for the servo wire, because one major difference between the kit that I've re-engineered now to do and the original design is these are going to have servos in the wings. The original had a central servo with push rods coming out the fuselage side, which went onto torque rods, and it just seems like they did what they could at the time because they didn't have the small servos. Whereas now we've got very thin servos, it shouldn't be a problem to put wing servos in here. In the kit there is some pieces like this. This is a template, this is going to be the servo cover. Now if I can line it up properly, can we see where we're going with this? Use a template to mark out these holes. These holes then become the corners of this servo cover, and also where the dowling that's in the kit will be glued to. So where do we put this on the wing? Well, I'll show you on the other camera. So we've got these templates that come in the kit and the wing servo covers. The production kits won't be made out of this material, they'll be made out of a thinner birch ply, just to aid getting servos in the thickness of the wing. So for measuring out the wing servo well, this wing panel hasn't got the wingtip fitted, so it's right to the tip just now, but it will be like inside the wingtip. So from that point there, measure 25 centimeters in. Draw a line 90 degrees to the trailing edge forwards, and then 130 mil, 13 centimeters from the trailing edge, put another line which will give you the positioning for this template. Obviously to get that 90 degrees, draw another 130 up somewhere, join the two. And then what you want to do is line up these marks with the lines you've drawn. And once it's in the right place, draw through the circles and you'll get something like that. What you do now is basically use the circles as the corner radiuses and join up the lines, join up the circles shall I say, and cut out the bit in the middle. The circles will be where the hardwood blocks sit, so that when the panel's screwed in, the hatch is screwed in, it's got something to screw to, and that forms the corners of the servo well. So these measurements, the 25 centimeters from here to here, these are for the 40 size Mirus. The 25 will be different, but that will be covered in the instructions. So 25, 130, and then you put the template on those marks. And that's the same for both wings. The same principle for both the 40 and the 25. The other thing to note is obviously you've got the servo lead hole. Mark where that is, because obviously once the wings are joined you won't be able to see where that is. I certainly recommend doing these cutouts before joining the wings, because you might have to poke through something from the root to actually get the servo lead hole into the servo well. So once you've got it all marked out there, the only thing to do, well, you can do it either way. You can either cut out the servo wells now, or you could get the wings joined. The other thing you do need to do is put a mark on the bottom of the wing where that servo hole is, so that once it's joined you can then cut through there to pull the wire out through. I have already marked the well on the other one as well, so this is going to be, actually I'm looking forward to seeing this, how this comes together now. It's actually going to be quite a good size aeroplane. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. I don't know, I need to think about, there's a lot of things, because I'm still sort of checking things and making sure things fit and all sorts of things like that. I'm double checking and triple checking everything as I go, and then because of that I can't think what I need to do next. I'll probably get these wings ready and do exactly the same marking out on the 25. Now the 25 will have different measurements to what I just quoted. All these measurements will be in the instructions. As I said, the measurements I've just quoted is for the 40 size. 25 probably won't be too much different, but it will be different. So I'm going to crack on with that. So it's a few days later from the last bit of video. The wing has been progressed. As you can see, we're now in one piece. The last video, the wings were still separate, and we were talking about marking out the servo wells. These have now been both cut out, only down to the veneer on the other side. This will allow for 8-10mm wide wing servos to fit in, and it will be very neat. It'll still be pretty strong. I've then joined the wings together, but not before marking where the servo channel wire channels come out, which is there, so I'll be able to cut that area out. I've joined the wings with epoxy. I used, I think it was hour setting epoxy. It gives me a bit more working time. I didn't want to use 5-minute epoxy. It's either 20-minute or an hour epoxy I used. Making sure the wing was as straight and true to each other as possible along the roots, but also upside down, so the top surface is flat, which means that the top surface is flat, which means the bottom surface actually comes up a little bit due to the thickness of the wing, which will then give the tiniest bit of dihedral. So wings are joined together. The next thing to put in is the wing trailing edge centre balsa fairing. This is made up of two parts that look like that. The first one to go on is flush with the bottom of the wing, and it won't be at its extremities, so it'll be flush with the bottom of the wing. It'll be flush with the bottom of the wing this way, but at these points here it won't be flush. But if you can get them level, because they'll be sanded smooth with the wing, what you want to try and do is get it flat with the wing that way, or square with the wing that way. Once that one's on, the second one can go on top, and then this will eventually be sanded back so that it comes to a feather edge to the bottom piece. So the bottom piece won't get thinned at the trailing edge, the top piece will come down to meet it, and obviously it'll get sanded to follow the contours of the wing. After that, two sections, I don't know how well it's going to be best to show you, two sections of the trailing edge are fitted to meet in, or to match in with the angle of the trailing edge fairing, and also the same angle where the aileron starts. Now that length coincidentally matches the 23 and the 25 centimetre, just checking here, 28 centimetre. So one's 25 centimetre for the 40, and the other mark, if you're making a 25 size Mirus, will be the 28 centimetre mark from the tip in. This will then give you the point where your aileron is going to be, and they can be glued in. Again, try and keep them square to the trailing edge vertically. So you might have a little bit overhang at the top, might have a little bit of overhang at the bottom, but again that will be sanded flush with the aerofoil. The one thing that the instructions say to do, if you're watching this and trying to follow the instructions, I haven't got the wingtips on yet, but the instructions say to put the wingtips on before any of this lot. So that is the trailing edge of the wing done as far as it's going to be just now. The only other thing I've done, again I don't know how well you'll be able to see, I've squared off the front. Now this is going to be a bit tricky to explain in writing, so it might be easier to explain just now. When you put the wing onto the fuselage, the leading edges, where they meet the fuselage, no, let me start again. When you put the wing onto the fuselage, you have the trailing edge fairing meeting and lining up with the top rear section of the fuselage. The point of the front of the wing will overhang the front of the wing seat. The point at which the leading edges meet the fuselage sides are to be marked and then drawn across and cut at that point. That should leave about a 3mm gap between the cut point and the vertical edges of the fuselage sides, which will allow for an oval of 3mm light ply, which is in the kit, to be glued to the front and then sanded to shape. So if I show you what you end up with, I don't know how well you can see that, you end up with an ovally type front end, which will then all fit nice and snugly in the wing seat of the fuselage. That is the basic wing. On this one I've got to put the wingtips on. The next task now, which isn't very exciting, is to add the fiberglass wing bandage, top and bottom, and then give it all a good sanding, shaping, and that is the wing just about complete. Construction wise, yeah, you've got to do servo hatches and things like that, but yeah, that is the basic wing. So the next stage now will probably be the tail end parts, the balsa parts for the tail. That's all going to come in the next video. Once they're done, it's going to be final fitting together basically, and all the other bits and pieces. So hopefully you're liking this video, this little series on the Mirus. It's not an in-depth how-to step-by-step video or anything like that, it's more of an overview. As I said, this is the pre-production one that I'm building. Possibly by the time you're watching this, the production ones are out there and for sale. I don't know obviously when you're going to be watching this, but if they're not out there yet, they will be out there soon. Any questions that you have on the build, email me, contact me, message me below or comment below. I'm more than happy to help and guide and whatever's needed. If you have any issues with the kit, any feedback you want to give, tell me. I can't do anything about it unless you tell me. I want to make this and any other kit that I do the highest standard that I can achieve. Without knowing where the problems are, I can't do anything about it, so please tell me. If you're liking these videos, subscribe down here, tick the bell to get notifications when I put another video up. Also details below of where these kits can be bought from NJR Modelling, both on Facebook and on the web. So as I said, next time it'll be looking at the tail end. But until next time, I shall catch you all later.